Well, guess what? I'm not going down like that. We're not going down like that. The people who voted for me deserve to have their voices heard and communities prioritized. I'm seeking the truth right now, just as much as you all are. But I will not be bullied, and I will not be disparaged, and I will not be threatened out of this office. There are a lot of radical right-wing forces who know they will never win an election in Oakland fair and square. They know their extreme views are at odds with our Oakland values, but they have built the rules to protect and preserve their power and maintain dominance over the rest of us.
And so we know that the work that we have done was actually great, and it's positive. And it is because of doom loopers that continue to talk about nasty crimes in the city of Oakland that allows for people to believe that, somehow the crimes aren't coming down. And it is that fear mongering that you continue to do that actually suppresses a lot of people's feelings about Oakland, and I think that that's very unjust.
So Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao very much of the belief that there's too much negative news. In fact, she has pointed out to reporters, including myself, that there needs to be more focus on positive news, but clearly she is digging in her heels. The night is still young. Right now, 65% of those in favor of her recall, as well as the recall of District Attorney Pamela Price. Now,
Several months later.
Good evening and thanks for joining me. I'm Gia Vang. It's official. Retired Congresswoman Barbara Lee will be the next mayor of Oakland. Former City Council member Lauren Taylor has conceded to the veteran lawmaker. The move comes a day after the latest tally shows Lee with a sizable 5,000 vote lead. Today, Lee made her first appearance as a mayor-elect and at a community Easter event in Oakland. NBC Bay Area's Christy Smith was there and has more on the race results.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, here we are. We're going to be talking about Oakland. And you know what? Every time we talk about Oakland, great things happen, right? Oakland's a bliss this, Oakland's great here. It's like everything's great happening in Oakland. And I know that's a lie because obviously that's not what's going on here. Because Oakland has always been a hellscape. And what we're doing here is just how Oakland is just never going to recover. It's completely done. Because Oakland just had its mayoral race, and I'm going to tell you, it went from terrible to absolutely doomsday worse. Like, there is nothing, I don't know if you can get worse than this. So, Oakland just had its mayoral race, and they didn't select the greatest people. The residents might be a little drunk, maybe a little bit dizzy, but it's not going great here. And after the last mayor, where her corruption scandal has gone everywhere, people were injured, the shootouts happening, construction was happening everywhere. It just has not been great. It's just the absolute state of Oakland right now.
About a wild shootout that may be connected to the federal corruption case involving former Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao and others.
Yes, we are hearing from the man targeted in that shooting and a neighbor who saw it all happen.
New at 6, ABC 7 News I-Team reporter Dan Noyes is here with the story. Dan.
Well, Dan and Ama, Mario Juarez is in a difficult place. He can't speak out because he could be a witness in that federal corruption case against former Mayor Sheng Tao and others. Still, he wants to know why police arrested 2 suspects in December for the shooting at his home, but released them without warning him. You can still see a bullet hole in the rain gutter at Mario Juarez's house in the Fruitvale neighborhood, 9 months after the shootout.
And then it stopped there and it shot like 2 times.
Sheila Campos lives across the street. She tells me she was headed to work after 9 p.m. when she saw a car drive by 3 times, firing at Juarez's house and Suburban. On the last pass, Mario Juarez came outside with his .40 caliber Glock.
And he started shooting back, like firing back, pa, 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 pa. And the car just kind of skeeted off, but kind of fast. And he was in the middle of the street shooting, like trying to get him.
I've been speaking to Mario Juarez by an encrypted phone app. He tells me he can't be in Oakland right now because he still fears for his life. He sent a written statement first reported by the San Francisco Chronicle that says 2 suspects were nabbed in December 2024 tied to these attacks, but justice, it never came. Oakland police made the arrests, but the DA's office, just days after Pamela Price left office because of the recall, allowed the suspects to walk without charges and without informing Juarez that the men who may have shot at him were back on the streets. It's an issue of safety, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely an issue of safety.
Ernie Castillo is Mario Juarez's attorney.
When you have people come into your house and you get into a shootout and people shoot at you, that's a huge concern. So we should have been notified by that former administration 100%.
Mario Juarez recently had a fraud case against him dropped. He was accused of bouncing checks for a mailer that supported Sheng Tao in her race for mayor. As part of that case, Juarez accused then District Attorney Pamela Price of demanding $25,000 from him to help her recall, saying when he refused, she filed the criminal case against him.
In that motion were declarations and statements by witnesses, including Mario Juarez, that the former administration had tried to shake down Mario for $25,000. And if he had not contributed to that campaign for $25,000, then they would charge him.
Through her attorneys, Price denied asking Juarez for money. Back to the shooting in June, neighbors confirmed to me that the day after the gunfire, the FBI canvassed the neighborhood looking for witnesses and surveillance video. And just 10 days later, agents raided the homes of then Mayor Sheng Tao, her partner Andre Jones, and David and Andy DeWong, owners of California Waste Solutions. They're all charged with conspiracy, bribery, mail-in wire fraud, and more. Federal prosecutors also claim Tao agreed to purchase modular units for the homeless from Evolutionary Homes, a company run by the DeWongs and Mario Juarez.
The product that we have is a single-family resident home.
Though he is not named in the indictment, Juarez appears to be unindicted co-conspirator one who acted as a go-between for the DeWongs and Sheng Tao. Now, Mario Juarez says they saw me as a threat, not because I'm perfect, because I wouldn't bow. They wanted me dead to keep their secret safe, to silence a voice that wouldn't shut up. They picked the wrong man. The DA's office now tells me they are taking a fresh look at the shooting case. 1 month before that happened, Mario Juarez says he was beaten by 10 men outside the headquarters of California Waste Solutions. He expected to testify in the federal corruption case.
Yeah, so what we have here is just an immense amount of corruption. Just a huge amount of corruption. And that's just part of the course when it comes to Oakland, or any Democratic person that's under the power, that's under any type of power at all. You get corruption. And on top of that, let's just add insult to injury to whatever else is going on with Oakland and all the other problems that they've had. I mean, with Oakland, you had people specifically where they're just not, where they're simply having issues with $100+ million deficit. I mean, if we have this here, it's $129 million with a deficit, and they even tried to sell one of their stadiums in order to actually try to, fix the deficit. And then it says the deficit is leading to potential cuts across city departments, including layoffs and potential reductions in services like police and fire. And then you also have it to where you don't even have construction crews that are wanting to fix the actual potholes or anything else because the safety concerns in East Oakland. So everything is in chaos in Oakland, and nothing is going well. So I don't know what else we're going to do here, right? So Oakland's in a very bad state. And guess what? The crime is just getting worse. It's not getting better. It's just increasing over and over and over again. So what else does Oakland have in order to fix the city that it's in, the tragedy, the turmoil that the city keeps facing?
Oakland police officer is recovering tonight after being attacked. It happened on International Boulevard near 105th Avenue on Friday afternoon. ABC 7 News reporter Ansar Hassan spoke to Oakland police, who are concerned this is an indication of crime trending upwards.
It happened fast. I've been a police officer for 25 years. I've never encountered this. It's probably something you're not expecting. Lieutenant Tim Donnellan with the Oakland Police Department says 2 officers were stopped at a red light on International Boulevard on Friday afternoon. The patrol car had its windows down. That's when the officer on the passenger side was hit in the face. The officer was able to get out, defend himself, and the other officer helps out too, and they were able to take the person into custody. Lieutenant Donnellan says the officer was transported to the hospital, evaluated, and is now back home. There's no indication the officer was targeted, and Oakland police aren't able to reveal much about the suspect, only saying he was taken into custody and placed on a mental health hold. We can't get into specifics about who the person is. There's privacy rights related to that. And that case hasn't been charged yet. So there is, I know our criminal investigations division is following up with charging this for assaulting an officer. Oakland police would not disclose the identity of the officer, but they did say the officer is a graduate of Oakland's most recent police academy. Oakland City leaders did not return requests for comment. The police union claims crimes are trending higher in Oakland this year compared to 2024, and that an assault like this is indicative of what's happening on the streets of Oakland at a time when OPD is facing budget cuts.
Homicides are up this year to where we were at last year. I was looking at some of the statistics this morning, and I think shootings are up 14% as well. I'm worried that crime is trending up, and we're seeing our staffing levels are going down. I'm a little worried about the future of how we're going to police the city if we keep losing officers.
Yeah, and we have things getting worse, right? Like, it's just not getting better in this sense. So, again, what you end up happening here is that the Oakland residents thought it was a good idea to elect Barbara Lee, a very far left, very woke, very progressive female woman that wants to be very anti-cop, right? Very anti-cop. Now, don't get me wrong, I have problems with certain cops too. I don't think they're great. I think there needs to be some type of a switch. But what she's doing here is a travesty. She's even going out far to say that the whole institution and everything of cops is just straight up racist, and it needs to be dismantled. It needs to be destroyed. I don't know what else to tell you, but how this is going to solve Oakland's problems is beyond me, and the residents voted for this person.
Is hard to even talk about, the pain and the suffering, and what, once again, the Black community is going through as a result of the dehumanization of Black and brown people. And when you look at what is taking place, the culture, the police culture, we need reform. We need to dismantle these systems and these policies that allow police officers to get away, literally, in many respects, murder. And this is just another example. And this is, and I think President Biden in his statement talked about the trauma and the burden of Black and brown people that we carry all of the time. Yeah. And this is gut-wrenching. And so we have to come together and just say no more, dismantle these systems because they're based on implicit bias. They're developed to dehumanize people so that police officers can get away with murder.
Coming together and dismantling sounds nice, Congresswoman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, residents, how is this person here? How is Barbara Lee going to fix any of the things that is going to be happening into your city when she wants to remove cops, essentially dismantle the whole system? How is this going to help you exactly? Because it is beyond me. And it doesn't seem that these progressives, these far left people, are ever going to understand or ever fix anything that they do, because if they keep on voting for people like this, your whole entire state, your whole entire place, your city is going to be destroyed. You'll be living in perpetual fear, constant crime, and your cities and your cities and your actual so-called your stores are going to be gone because you guys keep voting for the same people again. It's like they have a condition to where they can't just be good, right? Where they just cannot be in a situation where they can realize the mistakes and be like, oh, well, this is a problem. This is a problem. And again, you have this here, right? You're going to have this woman here, specifically where she's talking here, is that she's the one that's setting with Jasmine Crockett. And she is as progressive as they can come, so you can already tell that this is not going to end well. This is going to be bad. This is going to be horrible because we don't see the end of it. So without further ado, let's get into on how this is going to go here, because it is a treat.
Now to the race for Oakland mayor today, candidate Lauren Taylor called former Congresswoman Barbara Lee to concede the race, congratulating her on her win. Taylor released the statement this morning, reading in part, "This morning I called Congresswoman Barbara Lee to congratulate her on becoming the next mayor of Oakland. While the outcome was not what we worked for and hoped for, I am incredibly proud of the race we ran." He goes on to say, "We ran this campaign with integrity, with bold ideas, and with an unshakable commitment to the people of this city." In her own statement, Lee said, quote, "I accept your choice with a deep sense of responsibility, humility, and love. Oakland is a deeply divided city. I answer the call to run to unite our community so that I can represent every voter and we can all work together as one Oakland to solve our most pressing problems." The results released yesterday showed Lee garnered about 52% of the vote, while Taylor had just over 47%. Barbara Lee attended an Easter carnival today in Oakland after Taylor conceded. She said she wanted to keep the focus on this community event, but she did briefly talk about her priorities after taking office.
Of course, public safety, meeting with our police chief, meeting with our department heads, our city administrator, really looking at all of the issues, our unsheltered population, how we're going to move forward with economic development and creation of jobs. Everything is on my website, but today let's have a good time. But thank you for the question, but we intend to hit the ground running.
Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett was alongside Lee at today's event in Oakland. This special election for Oakland mayor saw a dramatic shift with Barbara Lee overtaking Lauren Taylor. KTVU's Betty Yu brings us voter reaction from across the city.
78-year-old former Congresswoman Barbara Lee, a progressive leader with nearly 3 decades of experience representing Oakland and the surrounding areas, said she entered the race to help heal a deeply divided city.
I'm so glad to be here.
Saturday, Lee said Taylor had called her to concede the race. She thanked Oakland voters for her win and said she plans to, quote, "do the hard work and make the tough decisions."
I think she's amazing. She's a social worker. First of all, I'm a social worker as well. She's done a lot for Oakland as the representative, and I think she'll bring a lot of influence and investment into Oakland.
47-year-old former city council.
This woman here honestly thinks that Barbara Lee is going to bring a lot of influence and revenue to Oakland. Is she? Is she now? Have you learned your lesson? I don't think you have. It's like a social worker. Oh, we're going to trust social workers? Right. Because I don't think social workers are a very good example of how things are run, especially when we have like CPS. I mean, we have horror stories from CPS and any type of social worker. So I don't really want to take them at their word or anything, right? So again, I don't see where this is going to go. Where did she say that she was going to help crime? Where are you going to say where she's going to reduce it, fix the problems there? She didn't. What is this feelings BS here? What are we doing?
Member Lauren Taylor, who narrowly lost to Sheng Tao by just 677 votes in 2022, said Oakland needs a pragmatic leader focused on tangible solutions. His campaign centered on what he called a broken Oakland, with a call for results-driven leadership.
I was hoping for Lauren Taylor. I think he would offer a bit more stability and consistency. His familiarity with Oakland and how he focused on what he was trying to do, setting up a plan first and detailing out what he wanted to do as far as action steps.
Only about 38% of registered voters cast ballots in the special election.
It's really very disappointing, especially given how much action is happening at the national level. We need to be engaged in the local politics and the national politics, and there are no easy ways out. You have to be engaged.
Voters said public safety and Oakland's growing budget crisis were top priorities at the ballot box. Some also expressed frustration with the city's ranked choice voting system.
I think in a democracy you should vote who you want to vote for, and the vote should be counted, and that's it.
Lee will serve the remainder of former Mayor Sheng Tao's term until another election in November 2026. In Oakland, Betty Yu, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
I guess later on, guys, we're going to find out that how bad Oakland is gonna fall. Hey, I ain't gonna hate it. Hey, it's like this gives me actual career. This gives me a job that I can potentially do, and and maybe I might get my actual career further off the ground. Maybe I could maybe do YouTube more full time and do this, because Oakland is gonna be the thing that's gonna keep on giving me for at least till 2026. Because I predict that this is not gonna get better. This is gonna get worse. The crime's gonna skyrocket, and I think these residents are going to suffer for it. And you know what? I ain't going to feel bad. I am not going to feel bad, because they voted for somebody that was worse, and they get what they deserve. I hate to say it, but I don't hate to say it. I enjoy to say it because until you realize on how stupid your decisions are, things are never going to get better. And that's just the way it is. So, guys, I guess we'll be keeping up to date with more Oakland news whenever that happens because it ain't looking too great for Oakland. It looks like a lot more stores are going to close and a lot more corruption is going to happen. So we'll see what goes on. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.